Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the first International Symposium of Women in ICT 2021. I'm Rajesh, will be the moderator for this session. So our speaker will be Prof. Abtar and Ms. Nokuthula will be sharing their experience and expertise in leading women leaders in instructional technology. Therefore, a small introduction about our speakers. Prof. Abtar has many years of teaching and leadership experience at various learning institutions, including Malaysia Ministry of Education, University of Malaya, Open University Malaysia, and etc. She held position as Director for Center of Instructional Design and Technology. She also been a Director at Center of Open and Distance Learning, Pedagogical, and more other things. Currently, Prof. Abtar attached to Asia Pacific University of Technology and Innovation, and she's currently driving innovative digital learning team. She's trained educators worldwide under various organizations such as of the World Bank, UNESCO, UNDP, the World Commonwealth of Learning. Together with her, Ms. Nokuthula, who is currently pursuing her PhD in Education candidate, University of Cape Town. She also holds a MA in Instructional Design and Technology from Open University, Malaysia, which coordinated by Prof. Abtar. So now I would like to invite both our speaker, Prof. Abtar and Ms. Tula, to present on title Leading Women's Leaders in Instructional Technology. Please give a round of applause for both of them.
Hi, thank you so much. Firstly, I'd like to thank AP Swan and her team for doing such a wonderful job of getting this symposium on board. It is an important symposium, and this has been going on for some time now, for almost I think close to 2 weeks, and it's good that APU has picked this one up as well. And thank you, Dr. Rajesh, for your kind introduction. You know, we are always very appreciative of the work all of you are doing at Asia Pacific University and how you are, you know, promoting you ladies, you great ladies, how you are promoting ICT, yeah. So today on board with me is my ex-student, actually, Miss Nokuthula. I'll call her Tula. And we have known each other for a long time, and we continue our journeys, both of us, in various ways, and which we will share with you more later in the presentation. But I'd like to just pick up on some of the tag words for this symposium. This International Symposium on Women in ICT, you know, inspire, empower, and celebrate. I think these are really great tag words to move a cohort of women forward. And Tula and me identified this cohort of women in instructional technology, which is a very crucial part of teaching and learning, and the use of ICT. So we are actually, you know, trying to build a corpus of instructional technology leaders, and so I'm really excited about, you know, the tech words, yeah, inspire, empower, and celebrate. I think this is what we are hoping our mentees will get. And me, I'm a mentee for life myself. You know, I have great women leaders that I look up to, and again, as I said, we will share this. So I think these tag words are very the very essence of a leader, right? I think whereby a leader is someone who can see how things can be improved and who move people. You know, so this is important for a leader to move people towards a better vision, yeah. And leaders can make, you know, can work toward making their vision a reality when they put people first. So in this respect, I think you know, we are trying to collaborate internationally as well. So again, I find this very apt, you know. So and I think leaders also need to be a little bit more empathic, you know, and connect with people to be successful. So for the leader to be successful, there I feel that there should be a high connection. So all this point us to today's title, okay, which is Leading Women Leaders in Instructional Technology, an area that has always been important and has become an epitome now of almost everyone. You know, teachers, lecturers, parents, students, anyone, you know, in the last 1 year, you know, it has just become a center of everyone's conversation. You talk about online learning, now almost everybody knows what it is and what it holds. So instructional technology is, you know, the bigger umbrella of all these different kinds of learning. So then this brings us to having Miss Nokuthula or Tula on board today. Okay, she's my mentee in the Commonwealth of Learning program. Okay, we are together in a program now, which is mentoring women for leadership. Okay, so that's why I thought this is a great platform for her to come and also share what it is like, you know, to be an upcoming leader in instructional technology. Okay. Now, so as you can see in the slide here, the Commonwealth Leadership Program, okay, it aims to empower women and girls. And there are many programs that are being carried out by the Commonwealth of Learning, yeah, to realize their leadership potential. I think this is so important, you know, when we come out with such words, right, to realize the leadership potential, you know, then we are, you know, we are trying to shape and mold young women, you know, to have that kind of a role, because there is a lack of this kind of empowerment for young leaders. Okay, so mainly to role model leadership. So I think this is what Tula is beginning, and she has started for some time. She's beginning to do. Of course, to leverage on tools and resources. Okay, that's important. Okay, that's where that relationship with ICT comes in. To network and engage with others. I think this platform itself has given both of us, you know, a platform to engage with more people, more women, more leaders that we are listening into as well today, and to enable new women leaders to influence others in the community. I think, Tula, I will invite you to say something too.
Thank you so much, Abtar, and thank you for this opportunity to engage with you and Dr. Rajesh in this session. And it is very eye-opening. I'm learning not only from the theme of the symposium itself, and I like the word, the how it is woven around celebrating each other as women in our achievements and inspiring each other as well as empowering one another. And I am a beneficiary of that through the Call Wise Women program. And this session is, we are including that as part of our activities under that program. And there is so much to learn, and your inspiration also, like you've said, dates back to 2009 when I enrolled with a financial support scholarship from the Commonwealth of Learning for the Master in Instructional Design and Technology. And surprisingly, it's like we have connected all the way from 2009 to 2021 this year. And it's not every day that you will connect this closely with a professor who has taught you. Just yesterday, with a colleague, we were sharing how in many contexts, the relationship between your professor and the student, it becomes very formal and detached. But in your case, it's been different. And like you say, we have benefited from a network of other leaders, may they be women and male. And that in itself is an achievement. It's part of the theme for the symposium, to celebrate, to inspire, and empower one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Tula. So just for our viewers and our participants, our session is going to be more like a Q&A session between Tula and me, so that we will be going, forward with a question, and then some, some input from me, from Tula, and then we will move in this manner. And we will just cover some of the very basic things about women leadership, and then how our journeys were, what were our challenges, and what is our advice, and then we will conclude the session. So I hope you all will benefit, to all our viewers. I hope you will benefit from this session. It is a very unique session because it is specifically talking about instructional technology. It is talking about more academic kind of background. It's talking about leaders, women leaders who are in very specific areas. We are not. You don't have to be a CEO to be a leader. You can build your leadership into a unique area that you have high passion for. I think this is what we're going to take you to have you have another view of, how can we be leaders, in our own ways, right? Okay, I think the first question is coming from Tula. Yeah. So her question is, what makes a great female leader? Okay. We share here, some aspects of what makes a great female leader. So mind you, being academicians, we are very fond of sharing research and literature. So we will take you through some of these, although we will not cover all of them. I mean, we don't have time, but there they are, for you to pick up. So I think literature points to all these attributes, okay, and there was a survey that was done, and 65% and 65% of females and 56% of males said that they view leaders as those who share their knowledge and connect with their colleagues to help the team and the business. So I think this thing connect is something I connect to myself. I think for me, high emotional connection resonates with me too, as a leader in instructional technology. This emotional connection, previously it was something that was frowned upon, but recently I think this high emotional connection has gained traction. I could see even my colleagues at the Asia Pacific University talking about this as an essential leadership behavior. We had 3 presentations by our colleagues, Dr. Devinder, Dr. Tang, and Dr. Lim, on emotional quotient, EQ, and how that is important for a leader. Picking up from there that this high emotional connection is an important aspect, and more so, I think a woman leader carries this very well. And in this day and time, where technology and everything else has taken so much of ourselves, we are more so connected to technology. There is a lack of human touch, and we have always promoted this, in a technology enabled environment. We need to have a high technology and also a high human touch. And I think because of this, right, because of this sphere that we are in, a technological sphere, right, it seems like women leaders are beginning to shine, because that is what is needed in a female leader. And I think you can be great if you can just use this attribute as a woman. You can use this attribute to move forward, in that leadership role. Okay. The other one I like to pick up is task focus, and I think this is another great attribute women leaders have, and I believe that it's not just being task focused, but also, sorry, not being task focused, but also being able to break the task to manageable ones and to delegate. And I think women are very good with, with breaking tasks, systematically. And they seem to be able to make the impossible seem possible, when they are able to break this task and they are going to be able to delegate and also make it looks like, it is effortless. So, when you create this environment, as a leader, if you can create this environment which seem like the task is effortless, I think that is great. You bring more peace, and you bring more calmness to the whole working situation. Looks like the working environment is these days is highly stressed, and so I think women leaders can pacify their staff in this manner by having this. Okay. And so then this brings me to people focus, when you are task focused, when you have high emotional connection, you can then start becoming more people focused, okay? You can push your team to become high performing teams, when you focus on them, then it shows that you are not there as a leader for yourself, for your own personal goals, so you are more focusing on the team to reach the organizational vision or to reach the goals of the organization. So when you are people focused, you also allow a more participative decision-making process. And I think women has this thing about them, this knack about them that, they can bring others in, to become more participative and to make more decisions together. So this then make them feel more involved, more respected. So all these, are things that will happen with you being a woman leader. You don't have to spell it out; it just comes naturally. Okay? So I think these are the three things that I want to talk about now for a great female leader according to literature. Because there are some other aspects that I will talk about later when it comes to that are more personal to me. But I think, La, you may like to add something here?
Yes. After what I pick from your wisdom right now is that it's people first. And to me, that is very inspiring because as women in instructional technology, the tendency in the past was to focus more on the technology. But now I think with all the developments, particularly during the COVID crisis, we are learning that people come first. And along with that, there are the social and emotional learning aspects that come into it. And I liked your example under being task focused and how this should be distributed. And somewhere in your own journey, your paper that you've written on your own journey as a leader in instructional technology, you make reference to shared leadership. And I'm curious about that. You distribute the tasks, but you still respect people, and you share the leadership. It doesn't just rest with you. Would you like to shed more light on that?
Okay, I think I would truly like to talk about that, and it so happens that that is the next section that we are going into, and we will talk about that in this section. So I think this was the next question Tula has proposed. What was your journey like into becoming a female leader in instructional technology? So now I will take you a little bit through my journey and I will share some of the high points and the pain points. And I hope this will again provide you with some snippets of what it's like. Okay. I think for any female leader, for me it was important to start small and build on my passion. I really started with a passion in instructional technology since I was in my 20s, and that was something that was kept at the back of my mind all the time, and I started moving into that in small steps, in little steps. And I started talking to more to my female instructors at the university. I started to connect with them. I started looking at them as people who could have a little bit of journey for me. So in that way, that was the shared leadership thing that provided me with some motivation to move forward. I think the other thing, so the first one is look a little bit deeper inside and see what is your passion all about. I think so. Move with that passion. That is the first thing I think that happened to me. The second one was to be focused. I seem to be that kind of a person who would focus onto something and then move along with it. So I have been in instructional technology for almost 30 years, I think now. 30 odd years. And so the thing is, you need to be focused, you need to be centered, so that whatever hurdles that come your way, you have being focused is also being like having a vision. So you know that you need to reach that point. Don't be deterred by small glitches in life. There can be so many different glitches. For example, when I started my PhD in based learning, it was difficult. It was never easy, but I felt like I was very focused. And I used to get into the office by 6 a.m. in the morning and work from 6 to 9 a.m. just on my PhD. And then for the rest of the day, it was my other work, which I had to focus on. So my first focus was the 6 to 9 a.m. PhD work. 9 a.m. onwards was, teaching at the faculty, working at the Center of Instructional Design for as an instructional designer within the same university. I was at the university doing these things, like what you are doing now, Tula. You are a director for instructional design, but you're also doing a PhD. So I was in that kind of a situation as well. And you will have people coming your way, and saying, "Look, why are you getting into this long drawn? It was not long drawn, difficult journey of wanting to create something in instructional technology. You want to create a system." I will tell, and they say, "Why don't you just do, a simple program like Tesla?" I say, "No." I say, "This is what my passion is, where my passion is," and I didn't change. I'm glad, because I've seen some of my PhD students who keep on changing their focus, and they get nowhere. So I think this is the beginning, of your life. You are still young. You start doing your masters, you start doing your PhD. So that will allow you to move forward and be a leader in that area. Yeah. I think the other one that I like to share is that to capitalize on opportunities, become a lifelong learner. And I think I truly capitalized on these. I don't know, I felt like I was doing so many things, those days between my PhD and 10 years forward, I was just learning and sucking up information, knowledge, competencies. I went places, I tried my best to, get scholarships, to do short courses. So I think I would encourage our young women leaders to do, to try. try to keep time aside for yourself. You need to, because if you just give in to the whims and fancies of other people, you may have some innate abilities that might not be developed, and you need to look into those innate abilities to develop them. So there were many things I did. I know. I mean, I went on a Fulbright Scholar program. Okay, I went to Canada to learn to do a 5 weeks program on developing multimedia materials. I went to Japan for a JICA program. These were all, journeys, my journeys that developed me into, I think, a better leader. And because when you go to these kind of places, their cultural values in a way will affect you, will develop you further. So travel as much as you can. When you get an opportunity to travel, this is what some of us did. Whenever we plan our travels, we go connect to a university and run a workshop there. So try doing that and try to develop women leaders in developing countries. Malaysia is quite a well-developed country, so I would encourage at least the Malaysian, at least those in APU, when you go traveling, connect to a university, go do a presentation there so you can cover, you can get more, you can increase your network, okay? Okay, be insatiable, so keep looking for opportunities to experiment your innate ideas. So again, don't be contented, don't keep within that comfort zone. Experiment, keep doing things that are different and keep experimenting. I did a lot of that. I was a busy mom. I had 4 kids, growing kids. I had a full-time job, but I think I managed. And I think we need to depend on people who can support us. Don't be shy to say, please help me. I think if you use the word help, people will run to you. So, do it, so that at least you when you say such things, try to depend on people who can help you and try to see if there is an area that you can develop and promote your competencies and share them with other people. So I think in a nutshell, this is my journey, and shared leadership is something that I think even this is what I'm still doing, Tula. Shared leadership, I'm still doing up till now with you. I felt like when Dr. Swan came to me, I felt like, oh, this is a golden opportunity for me to have my Commonwealth mentee to be on board with me. I feel like this is something that will expand your view, about different kinds of leadership, and you yourself, have adhered to it just now and said that you have learned so much in this short span of time. So could you share a little bit of your journey now?
Yes, thank you, Abtar. From my experience as an upcoming leader in instructional technology, I'm learning every day also from my community at the university where I work in Eswatini. And also like you, I am always a student, and I make fun of myself that when will I ever arrive and get to a point where I don't need to learn anything? Because it's like every day.
Trust me, it will never happen, Tula.
Every day there's so much to learn.
Sounds very familiar though.
Yes, so I think that is what has helped me a lot. And I also like to link these to our own cultural values that we have been with us for a long time. What you value as a person, being authentic as a leader as well, like you are saying, and not show your vulnerability, but be vulnerable, and in your community, know who to go to for this kind of help. And throughout my journey as an upcoming leader, I've always come back to you to say, Abtar, drawing from your example of the MIDT, how did you manage this aspect? And then you would always share openly. And not just only with you, even with the people at my university. I would also consult as various people whom I have come to regard as part of my professional learning community, or what others refer to as a wisdom community, that we learn together. Even the mentoring that I'm doing with you, Abtar, we do it also in that context, and it is distributed among various people who are in part of that network. And so that has helped as well. And I also like your example that you travel widely. Thanks to the Commonwealth of Learning, also, I have traveled to so many countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Mauritius, and so what helps in that in through the travel and the experiences and the capacity building, including one which we had under the Commonwealth of Learning in Penang in Malaysia on developing leadership among ODL women leaders, open and distance learning leaders. And you don't just learn the theory or the knowledge, you also learn about the cultures, you know. So to me, that shows that leadership, you are not born a leader, but this is nurtured and developed as you interact with other people who, from whom you learn the work ethic, you know, and so many other good lessons. And I have come to value, and I'm learning this from you also, Abtar, a value-based leadership approach, so that it is what you value as a person and as a professional. Then you demonstrate that through your leadership as well, and your interactions with other women and other men in your context, your professional working context. Yeah. So that's what I can share now.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Tula. I think this is great. This is really nice to hear your views on this and your journeys. And I think this is one thing maybe we can share with younger upcoming women leaders. Do capitalize, on what is available. Take advantage of it and plan well and be focused. Yeah. I think we'll move on. I think the next question, as usual, is an important question. Is what challenges did you face in becoming a woman leader in instructional technology? And I think again, I think nothing is rosy, in your path, in your journeys to be a leader in an area that has been chosen by you. So I think between me and Tula, I think these were some of the challenges that we faced. Okay, misconceptions about leadership traits, yeah, gender stereotyping, lack of training in women leadership, and self-censorship. So you can see there are some external and internal factors or challenges, okay, that we faced. But I would truly say that the first challenge I faced was a challenge that always came from men. I mean, people always say women do not promote other women, but I would like to share here with our audience that there were the men who were, I don't know, maybe it was their misconceptions about what a woman should have, as a leader. Maybe they felt that women were not as assertive as men, or not interested in pursuing senior leadership positions. So I think that this could have been some of the misconceptions about leadership traits, but I think there was also a paucity in women leader role models. I think at least to be a woman leader, I didn't have the kind of support in terms of a woman leader. I had support in terms of, getting myself armed with, competencies. But I think to be a woman leader, there was barely anyone. In the first place, there were few, but we didn't get the kind of a training in women leadership. So I hope our listeners who are women leaders will look out for such things. I think it is needed. As Tula said, it is something that is nurtured. It's not something you are born with most of the time, but it's something that is nurtured, and it is a great nurturing process if you go through this kind of training in women leadership. Yeah. I think maybe there was also self-censorship, maybe like I felt like sometimes I need a permission to be to lead, so that is something, again, I think it's something that you might want to try to avoid yourself. Don't self-censor yourself, go out there, be a little bit more bold. But towards the later part of my journey, I find that these were less challenges to me. These challenges became less. I think I became more self-actualized, and I felt great. I just feel great that you are actually helping a lot of other people, and these were not only women. I think the support that we were giving to this field of instructional technologies touch many lives, touch the lives of men and women equally. But what we are talking about now is women leadership. But I would like to say again, the one program that we launched, a full online program in 2009 on Master of Instructional Technology and Design, that was the first full-fledged online program, and we launched it in 2009. And almost all the participants in that program are holding some kind of leadership roles. I'm wondering, Tula, you need to share with us, what was it in that program that enabled so many of you? Truly, there were just so many of you who went into great leadership roles. They have graduated from this program. If you know Prof. Dr. Yusuf, he became the Vice Chancellor of Daffodil International University in Bangladesh. So, and so many, I can't even name them. You are one graduate of MIDT yourself, Tula. I think there were some challenges, but they were not like very great challenges for me. Maybe I'm the kind of person also, I think it also depends on your nature. I'm the type of person, I absorb, and I like nature takes care of itself. I think that is a good thing to do. Don't fight too much. Let nature take care of things that you cannot change. You change the things that you can change, so that the challenges become less challenging for you to reach your goals. Tula, I think maybe you may have some challenges to share, something a bit, that is, if it is culturally related, to you, you may share those as well.
I would also say, Abtar, in our context, one of the challenges would be resources, and but what I've learned also through the MIDT is to be very innovative and find strategies such that those constraints are very minimized. Never to sit back and give up because of constraints in your context. And also, like you said, influence is very important, because if you are more towards innovation, you are likely to face a challenge of the colleagues in your context not understanding where you are coming from. And that's one of the challenges that you always deal with. But what I liked and benefited through the MIDT is that you also learn about the theory and the practice around innovation. And you are prepared to deal with all those challenges. Not that you win all the time, but you keep trying until with grit and after some time you see a positive results coming out of that. So I would say those are the two main challenges based on my context, the resources and the change management as a challenge.
That was the course I think we ran on change management in MIDT. Okay, let's. I think we will probably need to quickly move over some of these, because I'm a bit worried about our time. But let's just do this also. What kind of effects did these challenges have on you? Basically, I just became more determined in what I wanted to do, more resilient. I was like, okay, I'm not going to give up. I need to try as much as I can. More innovative. You just used that word, Tula. That I think we just kept on trying to look for ways, and I think that make us that was good. Some challenges do make you a better person, okay, and more humane in your ways, since you have gone through and now how others will feel in taking these challenges, what effect they will have on you. So what about you, Tula? Maybe that's something else that you felt had an effect on you as a result of your cultural challenges.
I would also add on to these good ideas shared here that also understanding the culture in which you work, the context, helps a lot, so that you then have a way to share innovations in a way that will be culturally responsive, and you wouldn't just plant ideas from elsewhere and transfer them as they are, but you will negotiate with the context in which you work. So that has helped, and that's I think a strong point through the MIDT to say always share the innovation, always make people buy into it as well. It shouldn't just be your own vision, but let other people own it, and that way even the success is shared. It's not just you now as a leader who gets the glory, but everything is shared. Yes, thank you.
Nice. Okay, what advice will you share with future women leaders? Let's move on. Okay, this one is going to be fast because we have one section that we want to talk about more. Okay, so be authentic, offer support, and seek feedback. As a growing leader, okay, and you too, you want to be a leader, try to give more support, try to get more feedback, and as Tula mentioned, draw on your own cultural capital. Okay, your cultural capital is your best capital. Start from there and then slowly expand yourself, to be more on the regional and then on the global arena. Yeah. So seize the opportunities. Don't forget, we have shared some of our own journeys with you on how we seize opportunities to ourselves, moved into the area that we have passion of. Practice grit and resilience. Okay, I think that is important. And if you need to take a break, you do take the break as well. So that you as a woman, you have so many responsibilities. I cannot imagine all those great women leaders out there. I myself cannot imagine. I myself need to learn some more from them. How they do this. Build a solid network. I think that's where me and Tula would like to spend a little bit more time later on the solid network. So be open and flexible. I think it's important for you to share your sentiments, okay, and not to be shy to openly talk about your concerns, even with your leaders, your own leaders, you know, so they understand. I think sometimes even if you have a man as the leader, you need to be open and share with them so that maybe they might want to help you, you know. So don't be shy and don't have this misconception that, you know, men are always trying to promote men. I mean, in APU itself, we have leaders here who really appreciate, you know, the growing corpus of women leaders in Asia Pacific University. Have a mentor helps. I mean, Tula has one, I have one, so we will share with you who our mentors are in a bit, and have a, you know, clear idea in your career ambitions. I think that helps, and focus on that. You know, don't that people say the grass is always greener. I don't think so. Not much. It is how you capitalize on the grass that is with you. You know, so that you can zoom in. You know, until a point when you feel like it's time for you to diverge, then you do that. Okay, Tula. I see Dr. Rajesh is here already, so we need to move.
Right. It was a great session, actually. Right, Prof.
Oh,
Abtar
Stula,
and
wait, we
Miss.
still have a bit more. Let's move on. What are some ways women can be mentored to be leaders in instructional technology? I think I'll let Tula to talk on this.
Okay, thanks, Abtar. Like we've said, we are just summarizing what we've been sharing all along to say our approaches to leadership is that which is culturally responsive and value-based, so that not only do you become authentic, but you are also ethical and transformational. And that to us is the most important aspect of the Commonwealth of Learning Wise Women program. And from it, we are hoping to construct knowledge so that we share this with the rest of the world, so that our voice is heard also as women from the global south, and on leadership issues, and we contribute to the scholarship in our area on instructional technology, and also as an upcoming leader who is under mentorship, I would have to come up with a solid professional development plan with milestones so that I'm held accountable. And the leader is, I mean, my mentor is not the one chasing me all the time, but I also put in a lot of work, because like we've shared, it takes a community, it takes you as the leader to be proactive, and also to be diligent. And finally, we think what matters also is to trust other people, cultivate this environment of mutual trust, empathy, while also being a warm demander. You won't just let tasks slide, but you will find a way so that everybody, even those that you lead, and that we are nurturing them to become leaders in their own right as well.
Thank you. I like this word you use, the warm demander. Seems like it came from you now, Tula. Yeah. Okay, I think we would like to, both of us like to talk about our network of leaders, women leaders, right? And for me, Professor Asha Kanwar, who is the president of the Commonwealth of Learning, is someone that has always been, you know, the rock solid person who has been assisting me, has been with me, has continuously been with me in my journey for the past 20 years. I look towards Professor Asha Kanwar in many ways, and she is the person I go to, you know, for support, you know, for advice and stuff like that. The other person that has played a great role, a woman who has played a very great role in my life, is Dr. Rebecca Stromeyer, who is the CEO of Online Educa Berlin. Sorry, we didn't. Did we come to this slide? Sorry. I think for me, Dr. Stromeyer also played a very important role. Again, for the past 20 years, I have been in connection with her, in connect with her. And even up until yesterday, we were having conversations on how we want to, play a bigger role, women playing a bigger role in Online Educa Berlin. And actually that was when she has offered me to be now on the International Advisory Board of the Online Educa Berlin. So I think this is where I think being a hard worker is also important. As a leader, you need to put in the effort. You need to also be a little bit smart, a smart worker. I mean, hard worker is not enough, smart worker. And I think this is also very important in terms of you, being a leader and how you represent yourself to the rest of the world. Yeah. I think Thula, you have something to say about this other 4 exciting women in your life. Apart from Asha, I mean, Asha plays a big role in our lives.
Thank you, Abtar. Yes, I would start with Joyce Vilagati, because she's based in the same university where I work, that she has put me under her wings and has helped me to, because I came into the university from Macmillan Publishing of educational materials. So I needed to be mentored and then to transition well into the academic environment. So she has been there. And what I like about her is that she is very authentic. If you are maybe not doing things the right way, she would be upfront with you and tell you that this is not working. It needs to change, so that, and like we've said, it all depends on trust. Having that relationship of trust and dependability, And then Laura Chanavich is the director for the Center of Innovation in Learning and Teaching here at UCT in Cape Town. And she has done so much in innovation in the field of educational technology. Currently, she completed a big project, which was in collaboration between Leeds, the University of Leeds in the UK, and UCT, the University of Cape Town, which is the Unbundled University project. And this is the project that my PhD study falls under. It looks into marketization of higher education. It looks into issues of digital technology, and how all of that now has led to inequalities, widening inequalities among the students who particularly come from disadvantaged family backgrounds. And so she is passionate about equity. The same with Professor Mahapali. I've also met her recently through UCT. She came here and gave a talk, and I now in all her platforms on professional development, and I'm learning so much from her humility, but at the same time, very, very visible, as a professor in educational technology. I'm sure each week she is invited to be a guest speaker in all parts of the world. So she is very inspirational. And what I'm learning from her also is that when you are bringing in an innovation in a context, and make sure that you are intentional with being equitable as well as being hospitable. She even makes a joke that if in an environment you don't have a chair, you don't have a space in on the table where people are having an important discussion, bring your own chair. Don't wait until people give you a chair. Find a way, negotiate, and be accepted in that environment. And then finally, Professor Ramila Mo, he was previously at Call. Now she's back in Mauritius, her home country, and she has a leadership position within the Ministry of Education. And she has empowered me a lot on employability, graduate attributes, and quality in blended learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have taken up quite a bit of our time, but then this is how we will just conclude very quickly, because I'm sure Dr. Rajesh have some of her part to play some more. So in conclusion, this came from Tula. Alone, a woman is invisible, but collectively they are invincible. So I think we will leave our listeners, our participants, with this quote. There might be a small error there, but our apologies for that. So, and we will hand it over to Dr. Rajesh.
Right. Thank you, Prof. Abtar and Ms. Tula, for the informative and interesting talk. Just to wrap up, there was one question, maybe a short answer related to the questions. How we can grow more women in the instructional technology?
Okay. Seems like a good relevant question for both of us to take it up. Tula, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, Abtar, I would say, like we've said, the formal education counts so that it gives you the foundational knowledge. And there's so much that I myself benefited through the MIDT, so that counts, as well as your role models as well, like we've shared. And a mentor, I think it's very important, as well as what we are sharing through this slide now here, to have this solid network of women leaders and others as well, and also being very active in researching the area as well. So that would what we would share with upcoming leaders.
Yeah, I think I will add a little bit more also. I think women leaders can start kind of a movement, maybe, just do a poll or a survey among people who have the passion for this area, and then pick it up from there and move them, systematically, as Tula was saying, in a more formal way. And that is what I saw in Asha. Asha started this movement in 2009 when she, provided 5 scholarships for the Master of Instructional Technology and Instructional Design and Technology. So that was a huge impact Asha made in this area, and actually maybe in not her presence here, but we would like to thank her, for driving this. So I think we need more of these Asha Kanwars around the world, to start this movement going. Maybe this is something that we can work out. Yeah. Thank you,
Right.
Dr. Radhi.
Okay, thanks, Prof. Abtar and Ms. Nokuthula. Finally, we come to the end of our part of sessions, and it was a great pleasure to have both of you for our sessions. Right, and thanks for everyone to join us for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry we couldn't take more questions.
All right, enjoy everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.